Oh, when the saints go marching in. Oh, when the saints go marching in. Yes, yesterday was footy, and the B grade that I played in, we won our game. So, yay for us. And it was great to sing that song again with the team, and that's what it's about. Team and the efforts that all of us put in at stages. And I realised that I've got some work to do from that game. I'm not perfect. I've still got stuff to learn, effort to put in. So that's how it is. And that's the effect of choices, not training. And that's the subject today. So, the effect of choices. And we'll go right deep into this. Muzz wasn't sure if he could be here. Scotty has had a parathyroid operation. It's something to do with the throat. So I've said to him, look, mate, if you get on, you get on. If you don't, just comment and react. So that's where we'll see those guys today. We won't have the three-way conversation that we legendarily had the other week. But that is the effects of life choices. Give it a thumbs up when you get on. There you go. Scotty's just put in the chat he's going to sit it out. I don't blame you, mate. It is, you have an operation on your throat. I'm sure it's going to cause you a lot of pain. It was only this week, so you're still recovering. So drink plenty of water and recover well, my friend. So the effects of choices. We've talked about footy, and the results from that on the weekend was everyone put in at certain stages to get the team win. Some guys put in more than others, and I was probably on the other side. I could have done more, should have done more, and therefore I'm kicking my own ass to do more training at home and try and get to more in town, depending on what fits lifestyle. But shearing's going to happen this week. So next week's Sunday session might be a fun one because it might be from the shearing shed if you're lucky. So that's the effect of choices, or the other people's choices on that one. Is contractors called me up and said it's time to come to your place. So let's get it done. So I've gone, okay, that is the thing. Having been preparing for that in my brain for the last couple of months, get the mob sorted. So it's easy. Walk one mob to the shed. Draft what I've got to draft. And then shear the sheep, walk them away. Meanwhile, you can walk the other mob to the shed as easy as possible to then shear them, do what you got to do, and then walk them home. Nice, simple procedure, minimising the amount of time spent with sheep on the road. No trucking this time. All right, I had to truck some down the road thanks to Mr. Strother down the road for lending me his trailer. Good on you, mate. I owe you a few favours now. And that's a choice that he's made. And the effects of that is I owe him favours now. And he goes pretty much to the top of my list. There's not many people at the top of that list that I owe favours. So that's the effect of those choices. But then events of the week, we'll talk about choices that, not just me, that other people have made, particularly my young fella. So under the guidance and tutelage of myself and trying to be a better person, he made some choices yesterday that resulted in adverse reactions from other kids and stuff, causing parents to come and talk to me. So then I went, all right, thanks to the other parents, and we're all trying to guide him. A lot of those parents have come to me and said, look, we know it's kids being kids, but this has happened and we need to do something about it. Thank you for the information. I'll go and find him and we'll do something about it. So, and it happened to be about that time I was going home anyway. So I said, come on, mate, let's go home and we're going to talk about it. And it's all about the position that he put himself in and the games he decided to play with the other kids, which resulted in a miscommunication, which caused an altercation to then cause physicality, right? So, and the choices are, do I have to play that game? Do I have, if it starts to get out of hand, why deal with it myself? Why can't I seek assistance from other kids, other adults? Because that's what we're there for. As parents and community parents, we're there to guide all the kids. And that's part of, they say it takes a village to raise a kid, so that's what we're all trying to do, to raise all the kids. And we all interact with each other, kids, trying to guide them, not just to tell them they're naughty or whatever. So from those choices that he made yesterday and the actions that happened, there are consequences. And there's been consequences this morning on me being a little bit more stricter on the boundaries of what has to be done before he gets a reward. But he's taken upon himself this morning. He wanted to put his big boy pants on. He had a crack at cooking pancakes this morning and made some success. So congratulations to him on making a good choice and making some pancakes this morning. They're not photogenic, beautiful pancakes, but they still tasted like pancakes, and that was fine. He wanted to have a go, and I said, yep, right. These are the hazards. These are the choices you get to make, and this is showed him a couple. He had a go, and then I had to show him again at the end, try and review his performance and how he could have done it different to get a different result. So there's no wrong or right with a pancake. It's cooked or not cooked. That's the wrong or right with the situation. He got them cooked, and it was done, and they tasted good. And right now he's deciding to make himself lunch. We've discussed the hazards, and he's going to have a go. And the consequences of those hazards, hot water and noodles. So I said, what happens if you burn yourself? You go, running under cold water. All right, good choice. He goes, option B is don't burn yourself in the first place. I said, that's an even better option, so let's stick with that one. So in the guidance, there's choices. He can make his lunch. He can make his breakfast. There are we have to learn these things as adults, because as parents, we cook meals for our kids, and at some point they're going to learn to be big enough to do it for themselves. That's part of the growing up process. And other parts of the growing process are dealing with communities and frustrating situations. I myself had an interesting comment from someone last night that had a tone to it that I completely ignored, because it's their opinion and it had no effect on me and the daily operations that I'm going to do. But their opinion was, am I going to put a crop in because it doesn't look like it? And I just went, yeah, okay. I said, I'm putting a crop in. I've got my hectares. I know what I'm doing. I know where I'm at. We're back. Had a little glitch in the matrix there. Obviously, they're of the opinion from what more matrix glitching, from what they see, that they don't see me doing work, but I see me doing work. I have people that come and help me, like staff members and stuff like that. So we do work. It's just not everyone sees the work we do. If you want to come down my shed and see me work on the tractor, by all means, come down and see me work on my tractor or the boom spray or whatever I'm working on. I'm always working to a degree, and yes, it doesn't take long to make these videos to then turn them into reels for the week. But people might perceive that as how much time I spend online. But they might be shocked to find out how little time it actually takes. And that's probably the part of the online business, and the choice that I made to have an online business and then promote said business through making these videos and posts like that, is the time invested in it and the perception of other people of how long they think it takes, truth or not. And that's up to them. So if they think it takes a long time to do it and they don't want to do it, again, that's their choice versus my choice. And I've chosen to do it. And I'm happy with my choices. And that's the effects of those choices, probably the deeper meaning. We've discussed what the effects of the young fella's choices were for yesterday and today. He gets to feed himself and he's self-sufficient. But the choices that I've made and the effects of starting the online business is a certain amount of confidence, certainly a confidence on camera, and then the way I see myself around town and my attitude changing, and the effects of my attitude changing and the influence that might have on certain people, good or bad. Those are the effects of my physical health from being part of an online community who promotes holistic lifestyles and healthy living and good habits in their eyes. I'm not saying everything's perfect, and we don't all agree. You can't live in a community of 10,000 people and all agree on the same thing all the time. And that's the 10,000 people of the online community that I associate with versus the 500 people of the local community, that their opinion versus their opinion, who's right and who's wrong. But each person makes the decisions for themselves, and the effects of those choices affect their lives, not mine. And that's a wisdom that I learned through being involved in this business, the development and the healthy aspects for mindset. The mindset health is a great thing. I discussed the other week perception or perspective, and again, it's something I'm sort of hanging on to at the moment. Is that opinion a perception, or is it part of a greater perspective about what time to get the crop in? Some people have got canola in. I'm not overly stressed about having canola in right now. It's still in my schedule. I don't know what the exact date is, but within the next 5-6 days, we'll be getting to that point, which is not late. It's within that optimum window of a certain variety or two. And does it matter? What other people might be going, oh, we've got to go early, we've got to beat the rain. And I've got a date in mind, and I've got a schedule on when I want to start and when I want to finish, and that's my plan. So the choices and the effects of those choices. Other people make different choices, and they want to try and recreate the wheel, or their varieties that they've picked have a different timeline. And that's their choices versus my varieties that I've picked that have a optimum timeline that I've researched. And there's science-based facts as to why that date and that time. And I watch the research as the years go by. So it's not an uneducated decision. And then the perception or perspective of other people, whether I'm doing it wrong or right, is up to them, because that is their perception, but not my perspective, because I've got the farm plan and I'm sticking to my plan. Everything has glitches, like we've had a couple of glitches in the video, and that's okay. You just deal with it. There was a couple of, we call some of last night's interactions with the young fella, we called that a glitch, because it wasn't catastrophic. There was no bloodshed. There was a few tears and a few upset kids, old and young, and some lots of different adults came in to assist the effects, to minimise the physicality, I suppose. Kids get upset and pushing and shoving, and we deal with that, but that's the effects. But the effects of us adults and how we deal with it is we have the experience in, we were kids once, we understand to a degree what they're going through. On research of the way my son's brain works, and working with him and doctors and other mental health experts, and trying to understand his perceptions and perspectives and his viewpoints and why his brain works a certain way, as to why his decisions are made a certain way. There's similarities and differences between myself and him, and then how I can guide him as his parent on what I believe an acceptable set of behaviour skills are. So there's all this learning that I learned, a softer approach or a different approach, through working with more people on lots of different things. And I suppose that's part of having a greater network. So you have networks like footy clubs. So then your footy club goes to other footy clubs, and you have friends in other footy clubs. So you have a network of people around. But then, so then I talk to race car clubs. So I've got a network of race car people, to mechanics, and different that. And some of those people in that race car club have businesses that have advantages for me. So if I want to rebuild my kitchen or bathroom, I know a few people from racing cars that can help do my kitchen and bathroom. And it's just an exchange of money between two friends. It's really that, but it's having that network. If I don't know those people, would the price be any different? I hope not, because the price is the price. But having someone can help you get the right thing. For example, when I moved to Perth a couple of years ago, long before I started this business, trying to get a job. So going to support the family and trying to get a job. And I would work out here, drive to Perth, do a couple of days, hang out with the family, smash out some resumes, asking for jobs, try and get interviews, stuff like that. Try. I must have dropped out 200 plus interviews trying to get jobs and stuff like that. And then I was asking friends if they had any friends that maybe needed work, and I was aiming at a certain pay packet. So that's what I was aiming for. So I was asking around for that job that sort of meets that requirement. And it ended up, I didn't get a job until a friend. So a friend, we'll just leave it at that. We'll simplify him as a friend because he is. We're Facebook friends, so that makes us friends. How I met him was through the now ex-wife, but we're still friends on Facebook. But he had a mate who was looking for work. And it got to a point where it didn't matter what work it was, I just needed work with upside. So that was the thing. So I went and had this interview with this bloke. He goes, right, here's a shovel. Do you know how to use a shovel? I said, yes, sir. I know how to use a shovel. Right, can you dig holes? Yes, sir. Yeah, got your white card, got your work boots, got your fluoros. Righto, we'll get you a job. You got to do some inductions and stuff like that. Yes, sir. Job, right? Was in that job for 2 years before life changed and effects of decisions ended me up back out farming weight with a couple of kids to care for, and with support of my parents, we've done a fantastic job at raising kids so far. So they're still alive. So that's a success. And I hope you can enjoy that perspective, because at some point, not just our kids, but lots of kids push our buttons, and for kids to survive that situation is possibly a blessing. Hence, I'm not the kids coach. Hats off to those people who are coaching kids at sport and guiding these kids in that aspect. That's great. So yeah, that's probably a little ramble, this, that, and the other, on the effects of choices and how they affect your life, and the direct effects of the choices I made. 4 years ago, April 4 years ago, I did an opening the box thing. So if you scroll back far enough from Facebook, you'll see the what's in the box post from the early part on my Stuart Clue Graham. Now that's what it is, right? So if you go back there, if you go onto the business page, you could find the what's in the box post of what I opened back then. The effects of that are less chemicals in the house, better hydration. Better hydration meaning more energy, clearer mindset, adjustment of the ways of thinking and perceptions and perspectives. Then the flow and effect of, we'll call it a midlife crisis. I described that to someone last night. I'm having a midlife crisis and I'm trying different dietary things and being fitter. Got myself a little home gym, trying to change my physical shape under under my own decision and influence, and the effects of that from not being happy with myself, and discovering ways to do that without being toxic. There you go. There's a word we can throw out there. What is a toxic way to make changes in your life? Would that be considered bad, or is that good? And then what is a sustainable way to make a change in your life? And I sought out and chose something that I could do. If you can do it every day and it's not going to affect you, it can't be a bad thing. So that's the effects of the choices I made 4 years ago. So there it is. We've rambled on for long enough, so I'm going to sign out to you lovely people. Thanks to all the farmers in the group for growing all the food and doing the wonderful things. Doing a great job. Thanks to all the truckies that move the goods around Australia and the world. And thanks to the veterans that serve our country and protect our freedoms and stuff like that. You guys are awesome. So peace out and have a good one, people. And remember, if you just got on the end of the video, go back to the start and watch it again about the choices and effects of what we do and the perceptions and perspectives. So there you go. Deep thought. Peace out. Have a good one, people.